Hello, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another webinar from My English School. Now, today we're looking at levels 4 to 5. Now, my name is Andre, and I'm from a small island in the Caribbean called Barbados, but now I live in Rome. So, today let's look at focus activity 4 to 5. It takes. Good. In this focus activity, we're going to be using the phrase it takes, describing distances, and using how much and how many. So we're also looking at countable and uncountable nouns. So let's continue. How long? Normally, this is a question we use for asking about periods of time or length of time. How long? So the first question, how long does it take to get from your house to school? Number two, how many eggs does it take to make an omelette? And number three, how long does it take to learn English? Hello, good morning, Pasquale. How are you? Welcome all the way from Salerno. Nice to have you. Great, so today we're looking at the phrase it takes. So normally we use it takes to talk about length of time, a period of time. For example, in this first question, we have how long does it take to get from your house to the school? So in this case, we're asking you the length of time, yeah, that you travel from one point or one location to another. So how long does it take to get from your house to the school? Well, for me, it takes 35 minutes from my house to my English school. So that is the length of time, yeah, I travel from my house to the school. So Pasquale, how long does it take to get from your house to my English school? Can you tell me? So remember, it's the length of time or the period of time you travel from your house to the school. So can you tell me how long does it take to travel from your school, from your house to my English school? Okay, when you're ready, you can answer. So let's move on to question number 2. How many eggs does it take to make an omelette? Now here we have how many. So how many asks you how the number of eggs it takes to make an omelette. How many eggs? Remember, many is used with countable nouns. So eggs are countable, which means you can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4 eggs. So we use many. Good morning, Magda, Raffaele, and yeah, Pasquale is already here. Good morning and welcome. Oh, so we have a lot of people from Salerno today. So Pasquale says from his house, it takes about 5 minutes. So it takes 5 minutes to travel from Pasquale's house to the school. Very good, Pasquale. Very good. Raffaele, how long does it take to travel from your house to my English school? Also, Magda, how long does it take to get from your house to my English school? And the second question is, how many eggs does it take to make an omelette? So the number of eggs you use to make an omelette. Let's hope we can get some good answers here. And the third question, let's look at the third question. How long does it take to learn English? How long does it take to learn English? Now, what is the period of time, yeah, it takes to learn English? So how long does it take to learn English? Oh, Magda, you're from Milano. Welcome. Welcome. Oh, Pasquale. So you said it takes, remember, it takes, not I take. We always use the subject it. It takes. Remember, third person. We don't say I take, we say it takes in the third person. So it takes 6 eggs to make an omelette. So it takes 6 eggs to make an omelette. Okay, to make an omelette. Forgive the spelling. So it takes, oops, wrong one. Let me delete that. I'm trying to chat. It's a little difficult sometimes. It takes 6 eggs to make an omelette. So this is the correct answer. So it takes 6 eggs to make an omelette. Yeah, it depends on how many people are eating the omelette. So for me, for one person, it takes about 3 eggs to make an omelette. So Raffaele says it takes 25 minutes by car. Excellent. To the school. So it takes 25 minutes by car from his house to the school. Good. Excellent. Good. So always remember, when you start the answer, we use it takes. So it takes 25 minutes by car from my home to the school. So it takes 25 minutes by car from my home to the school. So always remember, start with it takes. Yeah, good. Oh, for you, Pasquale, 6 eggs to make an omelette. Yeah, that's a lot of omelette, but very good. For me, it takes 3. All right, the next question. How long does it take to learn English? Now, everyone is different. So each person learns English in a different way and in a different period of time. So how long does it take to learn English? Can anyone tell me? Raffaele, Pasquale, Magda? Well, for me, not English, but Italian. So for me, it takes, I would say, a long time to learn Italian. Okay, Pasquale, so it takes 5 months to Learn English. So remember, you start with it takes, then the length of time, and then you add the other words after that. So it takes 5 months to learn English. Good. Excellent, Pasquale. It takes 5 months to learn English. For some people, for Pasquale, it takes about 5 months for him. So for many people, there are different times. So as I said, for me, it takes a long time. I have no specific time, but it usually takes a long time to learn Italian for me. Yeah. So any idea, Raffaele, how long does it take to learn English for you? What about you, Magda? How long does it take to learn English for you? English can be difficult for some people, and for others, it might be a little easier. So the time varies. Yeah, there are different lengths or periods of time that people can learn a language. But generally, a lot of our students, yeah, it takes for them about 4 months to learn basic English. For some, it might take a year or maybe 2 years to learn English. Excellent. So here we have the questions. How long it takes and how many it takes. Yeah. So for example, as we said in question one, how long does it take to get from your house to the school is the period of time that you travel from your house to the school. Number two, we have many. Remember, we use many with countable nouns and we use much with uncountable nouns. So question number two, how many eggs does it take to make an omelette? So the number of eggs we use to make an omelette. Pasquale says he uses 6. I use 3. Magda, very good. So it takes for you 5 months to learn English. So always remember, look at the English form. It takes 5 months to learn English. Yeah, so that's the correct structure of the answer. No, that's okay, Magda. We're here to learn. Okay, let's move on. Excuse me. It's early in the morning, so my voice is still waking up. Alrighty, so let's look at driving time. So we're looking at the number of hours or the period of time it takes to travel from one location to another. So let's use the questions beginning with how long to ask how much time you need to travel. How long does it take to drive from one city to another city? Remember the answer, we start with it takes. When you respond, you always start with it takes. We use the subject it in the third person. Oh, Raffaele, so you use 3 eggs to make an omelette. So it takes 3 eggs to make an omelette. Cool. Very good. So let's continue. So let's look at these different cities and let's find out how long it takes to travel from one city to another. So we've got from, we've got Portland, Rome, Berlin, and Sydney. And to, we've got Seattle, Florence, Frankfurt, and Melbourne in Australia. And then we have the time for driving a car. We have 3 hours and 20 minutes, 3 hours, 5 hours and 30 minutes, and 9 hours. So we have to determine how long it takes to travel from one city to another. That's all good, Giovanna. Welcome. Where are you from? Now, today we're looking, Giovanna, at the phrase it takes. Yeah. So Pasquale asks, how long does it take to drive from Ravello to Rome? Can anyone answer that question? How long does it take to drive from Ravello to Rome? Can anyone answer that question? Thanks, Pasquale, for that question. I'm not very familiar with Ravello, but maybe others might know. Can anyone guess? Oh, Giovanna's from Naples. Welcome. So let's answer Pasquale's question. How long does it take to drive? Remember, we always have to use to drive, the infinitive, from Ravello to Rome. Let's see. Anyone knows the answer? I'm going to guess maybe about, I don't know, 3 hours. It takes 3 hours to drive from Ravello to Rome. I don't know. Oh, I was right. Yay. So it takes 3 hours to drive from Ravello to Rome? Thanks, Pasquale. So that's the length of time you travel from Ravello to Rome. So let's answer or ask another question. So how long, Giovanna asks, how long does it take to drive, remember, to drive from Rome to Florence? It takes maybe about 3 hours. What do you guys think? Does it take 3 hours to drive from Rome to Florence? I don't know. Can anyone confirm? I agree with you, Giovanna. I think it takes around maybe 3 hours to drive from Rome to Florence. Yeah, I think so too. Now, Raffaele asks, how long does it take to drive from Salerno to Milano? Can anyone answer that question? How long does it take to drive from Salerno to Milano? I'm not very familiar with the distances in Italy. I'm still learning. So Raffaele says it takes by ferry, okay, maybe 5 hours. Yeah. So it takes, remember, it takes followed by the time. So it takes 5 hours by ferry from Salerno to Milano. So it takes 5 hours by ferry from Salerno to Milano. Think about that. Yeah, it's about 5 hours, I think. Pasquale says, this time in the morning. On the afternoon, even more than 4 hours sometimes. Okay, so maybe more than 4 hours in the afternoon with traffic or without traffic. But in the morning, it might be 5 hours. Okay, good. Giovanna asks, how long does it take to drive from Naples to Rome? She says it takes about 1 hour by train. Excellent. Very, very good. So remember, it's probably faster. It's faster by train than maybe by car or bus. Cool. Good questions, guys. How long does it take to drive from Naples to the Amalfi? The Amalfi Coast. That's an interesting question. I don't think it takes very long. I think it's a short travel, a short period of time. So how long does it take to drive? Remember, always use the infinitive, to drive from Naples to the Amalfi Coast. Yeah, how long does it take? Anyone can answer? I don't think it's a long time. Pasquale, how long does it take? Can you tell me? Maybe about 30 minutes? I'm not sure. It depends on traffic as well. Depends on how many cars are on the street. Excuse me. So it depends on the traffic. It depends on different factors. It depends if you're going by car, if you're going by bus, if you're going by boat. But I think it takes a very short time to drive to the Amalfi Coast from Naples. Yeah. Okay, guys, excellent questions. So always remember the structure. How long does it take to drive? Or how long does it take to walk? How long does it take to fly? Then we use from that city to another city. Yeah, always remember that. And then when you're responding or you're answering, you use it takes, the length of time. Yeah, so it takes 5 hours to drive, the infinitive of the verb, from Naples to Florence. I think it takes longer than 5 hours. Excellent, guys. Very, very good. So let's move on. So let's look at walking. Walking time, the length of time to travel from one location to another on foot. So remember, walking, we use on foot. You will hear some people using by foot. You can use by foot as well, but the correct form is on foot. We use the preposition on. So here, let's use the questions beginning again with how long to ask how much time you need to travel. So how long does it take to walk from one city or one location, to another? So Raffaele has another question. How long does it take to drive from Portland to Seattle? So let's go back quickly. Oops, let's go back for a moment. Let's answer the question. So how long does it take to drive from Portland to Seattle? We've got, it takes 3 hours and 20 minutes to drive from Portland to Seattle. Good, excellent. Very, very good. So let's look at walking again. So we have walking from my house to the school, from the school to the city center, from the station to the park, and from the supermarket to my house. So let's look at these times for traveling between these locations. So how long, I'm sending this question to Pasquale. So Pasquale, how long does it take to walk from your house to the city center? How long does it take to walk from your house to the city center? Can you tell me how long it takes? Okay, so Pasquale has a question as well. He asks, how long does it take to walk from the station, the train station, so remember, train station, to the square? So Pasquale, how long does it take to walk from this train station to the square? For you, Pasquale, how long does it take? Does it take 5 minutes? Does it take 30 minutes? How long does it take? Can anyone tell me? Okay, for you, Pasquale, it takes 15 minutes. That's a good little exercise. It takes 15 minutes to walk from the train station to the square. Excellent. Do we have any other questions? Remember the question I asked before. How long does it take to walk from your house to the city center? Can anyone tell me? Raffaele, Magda, Pasquale, how long does it take to walk from the city center or from your house to the city center? Okay, so for you, Pasquale, it takes 10 minutes from your house to the village. Yeah, because you live in a village. So it takes 10 minutes to walk, remember the infinitive of the verb, from your house to the center of your village. Good, excellent. Raffaele, how long does it take to walk from your house to the city center? How long does it take to walk from your house to the city center, Raffaele? Okay, and Giovanna, oh, you're still with us. How long, she asks, how long does it take to walk from my house to my son's school? Or if you're asking the question to someone else, how long does it take to walk from your house to your son's school? So Giovanna says, it takes about 10 minutes by car and 30 minutes on foot. Excellent, very, very good. So remember, we use the first person if you're asking, well, the second person, if you're asking someone else, you say, how long does it take to walk from your house to your son's school? So remember, second person. So the response would be, it takes about 10 minutes by car and about 30 minutes on foot to walk, to drive by car and to walk on foot. Very good. Very, very good. Usually for me, it takes about maybe 40 minutes. It takes about 40 minutes to walk from my house to the city center. So it takes about 40 minutes to walk from my house to the city center because I'm here in Rome. So normally around 40 minutes on foot, maybe about, let's see, maybe about 15 minutes by subway from my house to the city center of Rome. That's okay, Pasquale. I know the connection sometimes is very slow. Don't worry about it. So remember, we use how long for periods of time from one location to the other location. Sorry. So for me, let's ask the question, how long does it take to walk from the supermarket to my house? How long does it take to walk from the supermarket to my house or from my house to the supermarket? For me, it takes roughly about 5 minutes to walk from my house to the supermarket. So it takes about 5 minutes on foot or to walk from my house to the supermarket. What about you guys? How long does it take to walk from your house to the supermarket? How long does it take? I don't think it should take very long, especially if the supermarket is close to your house. For me, I can walk. So how long does it take to walk from your house to the supermarket? Giovanna, Pasquale, Magda, Raffaele, can you tell me? How long does it take to walk from your house to the supermarket? I'll give you 10 seconds to answer, and then we'll move on. How long does it take to travel from your house to the supermarket? As I said, for me, it takes 5 minutes to walk from my house to the supermarket. Some people need to use the car. So some people, it might take maybe 10 minutes by car to travel or to travel to the supermarket from their house because maybe you're going to the supermarket to buy lots of groceries. So you need to have a car because there are too many bags to walk with. Okay, let's continue. So let's move on with days, months, and years. So with days, months, and years, we're looking at time. So we obviously have to use the question, how long? Remember, how long is used for periods of time, how many is used for the number, how much is used for the quantity, especially for uncountable nouns. So let's look at days, months, and years. Use questions beginning with how long to ask how much time you need to read a book, to read the newspaper, to make a pizza, to learn to play the guitar, to walk 2 kilometers, and to run a marathon. So, Pasquale says it takes about 10 minutes to walk from his house to the market. Okay, it's not too long. 10 minutes. Good. Excellent. But now, we don't do a lot of walking because we have to be inside. So only to go to the supermarket. Yeah. So right now we're indoors, so we don't do a lot of traveling now. But generally, Pasquale says it takes about 10 minutes to walk from his house to the market. So now let's look at how long it takes to do these actions. So we have how long does it take to read a book, to read the newspaper, to make a pizza, to learn to play the guitar, to walk 2 kilometers, and to run a marathon. So let me ask the question, how long does it take to read a book? So how much time do you use to read a book? Can anyone give me an answer? Always remember, we start with it takes. Always remember. So how long does it take to read a book? Well, for me, it takes, depends on the size of the book. For me, if it's a short book, a short story book, usually it takes maybe for me like 1 day. So it takes for me 1 day to read a short story book. For maybe something that's a lot more complicated, a bigger book, maybe it can take for me about a few weeks, maybe 2 weeks to read a large book. So for me, it takes about 1 day to read a short story book, but it takes 2 weeks to read a bigger book with a lot more information. Yeah. So how long does it take to read the newspaper? Now, for me, it takes a few minutes, maybe about 5 minutes to read the newspaper. So, Raffaele, how much time, right? You can use much for time because time is uncountable. So we use much. You can use how much time it takes to read a book or how long it takes to read a book. So we have how much time it takes to read a book or how long it takes to read a book. So we can use both of these questions. You can use how much time it takes to read a book or how long it takes to read a book. So remember when we're using time, we use much because time is uncountable and we use much with uncountable nouns. Or you can just ask how long it takes to read a book. So both are correct. You can use both of them. Yeah. So as I said, for me, it takes about 5 minutes to read the newspaper. It takes about 1 day to read a short story book, but it takes about 2 weeks for me to read a large book, a bigger book. So, how long does it take to make a pizza? Now, this is an interesting question because if you're making the pizza from the start, then it takes longer. If you bought the pizza in the supermarket and you're putting it in the oven, then it's shorter because the pizza was already made. But if you're making the pizza from the beginning at home, it usually takes a longer time. I would say it takes maybe about 3 hours to make a pizza. You have to get the flour, the water, mix it together. You have to put the yeast, which allows the dough to rise. So there are many things you have to do to make a pizza. So it takes a long time. Pasquale says it takes 0 minutes to read a book because you hate to read a book. So it takes 0 minutes to read a book. Yeah, because I hate to read books. Yeah. Some people don't like to read books. Yeah, so that's understandable. So 0 minutes. I like that, Pasquale. So it takes 0 minutes to read a book because I hate to read books. So look at the structure. So remember, it takes 0 minutes to read a book because I don't like to read books. Okay, Pasquale, thanks for that answer. So Magda, how long it takes to run a marathon? So that's one question. Raffaele says it takes 4 hours to make a pizza. Maybe 4 hours, about 4 hours. So always remember, Raffaele, it takes followed by the period of time. So it takes 4 hours, then the infinitive to make a pizza. Good, but good answer. It takes about 4 hours, 3 hours, depends. And Giovanna, how long it takes, remember third person, takes with the S, to walk from my house to my son's school. It takes about 10 minutes by car and about 30 minutes on foot. Okay, thanks for that previous question, Giovanna. So we asked, so Raffaele asked, or Pasquale, which one? Oh, Magda. Magda asks how long it takes to run a marathon. Interesting question because it depends on the kilometers. It depends on the distance. So if it's 6 kilometers, maybe it's longer compared to maybe a 2 kilometer race or a 1 kilometer marathon. So generally, Magda, how long it takes to run a marathon? Can anyone else answer as well? Even Magda can answer. How long it takes to run a marathon? I don't like to run marathons or run at all, so I don't know how long it takes. For me, like Pasquale, it takes 0 minutes or zero time or no time to run a marathon because I don't like running marathons or I don't like to run marathons. Yeah. But generally, maybe it takes a long time to run a marathon. And it depends on how fast the person can run. Yeah, depends on how fast. I'm slow, so it takes me a long time. So here's some other questions. How long it takes to learn to play the guitar? Now, some people are very musically gifted and can learn a musical instrument very quickly. So for me, I'm musically gifted, so maybe it doesn't take very long. I would say it takes maybe about hmm, like 4 months to learn the guitar, to really be very good at playing the guitar. I think it takes about 4 months to learn the guitar. Okay, how long it takes to run a marathon? Raffaele says it takes 2 kilometers. Hmm. In this case, you're looking at distance. So normally you would use time, not distance. So it takes how much time, Raffaele, to run or to walk 2 kilometers? So kilometers are the distance, but how much time does it take to walk 2 kilometers? The time. Does it take 1 hour? Does it take 2 hours to walk 2 kilometers? So normally you would say, or you would ask, how long it takes to run or to walk a 2 kilometer marathon. Okay, Giovanna says it takes about 10 minutes. Okay. So maybe Giovanna does do marathons. I don't know. Do you, Giovanna? Pasquale says he doesn't know how long it takes to make a pizza. It depends on how far. It depends on how far the restaurant is or how close the restaurant is because he doesn't make a pizza. He buys pizza. Pasquale is very funny this morning. So Pasquale doesn't know how long it takes to make a pizza because he buys the pizza from the restaurant. But generally, Pasquale, it takes about 3 to 4 hours to make a pizza at home. Yeah. But I'm sure it takes maybe a couple minutes to buy pizza from the restaurant. Oh, Giovanna's a runner. Very good. So she knows her distances. Cool. So it takes about 10 minutes for 2 kilometers. Okay. So it takes 2 kilometers. Well, for 2 kilometers, it takes 10 minutes. Or it takes 10 minutes to walk a 2 kilometer marathon or to walk 2 kilometers. So it takes 10 minutes to walk 2 kilometers. Excellent. So we've got some professional marathon runners and walkers here. Hi, Olga. Nice to meet you, Olga. Where are you from? So we have people from Salerno, we have people from Milano, we have people from, where else? Naples. Salvatore, hello. Where are you from? So we've got Naples, we've got Milan, we've got Salerno, we've got, who else? We've got Rome. I'm from Rome. Oh, Olga is from Russia, but you live in Milan. Cool. Welcome. Haifa, I think that's how you pronounce it. Haifa. Hi, nice to meet you. Or Haifa. You have to tell me which pronunciation is correct. Haifa or Haifa? Cool. So we have Russia, Milan/Milan. We have Naples, Salerno. You've got Florence in the house. Good morning, Kate. Welcome. Oh, you're from Tunisia. Good. So we have Tunisia in the house. Whoop, whoop. So remember, guys, today we're looking at it takes. It's a popular phrase we use for talking about the period of time for traveling, a period of time for doing activities. So for this webinar, it takes 50 minutes to do a webinar. Domenico, welcome. You're from Bari. Ah, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Nice to have you. So we have people from all over Europe as well. Good. Welcome. So we've got a couple minutes left. So remember, as I said, we're looking at it takes for periods of time, for traveling, for doing activities. We have the questions with how long for the period of time. We have how much or how many for the quantity of something. For example, how many for countable and how much for uncountable nouns. So let's finish up with this last exercise. So how many? So we're using quantity with countable nouns. How many? So I want you to use questions beginning with how many or how much to ask about an amount you need. So here we have different types of foods or different types of ingredients. Now, ingredients are things used to make a dish or to make something to eat, to make food. Pasquale says he doesn't like to cook, but I like to eat pizza and pasta and meat. Me too, Pasquale, me too. I love to eat. I don't really love to cook. Good. So exactly, Raffaele. So flour is uncountable. You can't count flour. So it's an uncountable noun, which means we have to use much. Remember, much is used with uncountable nouns and many is used with countable. So uncountable, you cannot count the noun, but for countable, you can count. 1, 2, 3, 4. So flour is an uncountable noun, so we use much. So how much flour does it take to make a pizza? Yeah? How much flour does it take to make a pizza? So, Hefa. So the question would be how much flour it takes to make a pizza. Yeah. Or Raffaele says how much, or ask how much sugar it takes to make a cake. Yeah, because we use sugar in sweet things, in sweet foods. But generally, we use flour in both sweet and savory foods. Yeah. So Rafael asks, how many eggs? Yeah, how many eggs for countable nouns? Exactly. So eggs are countable, so we use many. Let's look at water. Is water countable or uncountable? Water. So remember, water is a liquid. Can you count water or can't you? So water, is it countable or is it uncountable? Very good, Salvatore. So the question is how much flour it takes to make a pizza. Excellent, very good. So Magda says, yes, water is uncountable because it's a liquid. You can't count liquids. So water in general is uncountable, but bottles of water are countable. Remember, bottles of water are countable, but water in general is uncountable. Now let's look at sugar. So we had a question before. I think it was from Raffaele. Raffaele was correct. How much sugar? So sugar is uncountable as well, which means you can't count sugar. There are too many grains of sugar, too many crystals of sugar. So it's impossible to count sugar, so it's uncountable. So let's look at some other questions, some other answers. Yeah, sugar is uncountable. Eggs are countable, of course, because you can count them. 1 egg, 2 eggs, 3 eggs. What about milk? Is milk countable or uncountable? Is milk countable or uncountable? Dum, 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 dum. Is milk countable or uncountable? So we've got some other questions. How much chocolate does it take, not need? Or you would say, how much chocolate do you need in this case? But we're using it takes. So how much chocolate, Giovanna, does it take to make a cake? Or how much chocolate it takes to make a cake? Yeah, excellent. Someone says, Pasquale says, it takes 1 kilogram or kilogram of flour to make a pizza. Good, that sounds about right. You need a lot of flour to make a pizza. Yeah. Very good, Olga. So how much water? Excellent. We use much with uncountable. And Heifer, yeah, milk, oil are both uncountable. Very good. So milk and oil are liquids. You can't count liquids, so they are uncountable. And chocolate, can anyone tell me if chocolate is countable or uncountable? This one can be a little difficult for some people. Chocolate, countable or uncountable? Countable or uncountable? Chocolate, one of my favorite things to eat. Chocolate. But I don't like chocolate cake. I prefer chocolate. Chocolate by itself, alone. So is chocolate countable or is it uncountable? Yes, Pasquale, milk is uncountable, of course, but chocolate, the last one. Can you count chocolate or you can't count chocolate? Remember, chocolate in general. For me, I love eating chocolate. Exactly, Magda, you're correct. So chocolate is uncountable in general. By itself, it's uncountable. But if you use a chocolate bar, a bar of chocolate, then it's countable. So 2 bars of chocolate, 1 bar of chocolate. So with chocolate in general, it's uncountable. But with bars, we call them bars of chocolate. Like for example, what are some names of chocolate? We've got Milka, a Milka chocolate bar is countable, but Milka chocolate in general is uncountable. So very good, Kate. Welcome, Kate, again. So how much chocolate? How many pieces of chocolate? Very good. So we have bars, or we have pieces, or piece. So we have how many pieces of chocolate, but how much chocolate in general? Very good, Kate. Excellent. Heifa says she likes dark chocolate. I don't really like dark chocolate. I prefer milk chocolate, but the dark chocolate is better for you. Yeah, it's healthier. Excellent. Of sugar or kilos of sugar, they are countable. So remember, kilos also are countable. So 2 kilos of flour, 2 kilos of sugar are countable, but sugar and flour in general are uncountable. So always remember the difference between the countable and uncountable. For countable, we use many, and for uncountable, we use much. So excellent job, guys. We're at the end. Very good, guys. Very good work today. Some good questions. Remember, how long is for a period of time. How much or how many is for quantity. Yeah, for quantity. So always remember that. Practice and you'll be fine. Remember to practice the uncountable nouns. They're very important. See you later, guys. So bye to Milan, bye to Salerno, to Russia, to Tunisia, to Naples. Yeah, have a good one, guys. From to Florence as well. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Mwah.